Ok, quindi ricominciamo con la sessione pomeridiana del demo di Drones Beyond 2022, la giornata 2. Adesso vedremo una serie di dimostrazioni registrate all'interno del nostro centro congressi. Iniziamo con UMS Skeldar. I will switch to English as a request from the operator. So, thank you Saverio for being here. Saverio Oldani from UMS Skeldar. So, I think we can start to describe what your company does.
Yes, does it work? No.
C'è un problema col microfono? Forse non è acceso?
Funziona?
Funziona a quanto pare.
Prova?
Non funziona
Prova.
in sala il microfono.
È acceso, Prova.
No, comunque mi dicono dalla regia possiamo continuare.
Possiamo continuare? Oh,
Ok,
perfetto.
perfetto.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Saverio Oldani. I'm from UMS Skeldar. I don't want to make you too much bored with the company presentation, these kind of things. I will be super brief and then go directly with the real operations video. Today I will show you two typical applications of our UAVs. But first, who we are. We are a joint venture based in Switzerland and in Sweden. We deal with VTOL, so vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. So we are basically standard helicopter. That's our product. As you can see, the central core of the product is the customer infrastructure. You see the UA, so the helicopter, what normally gets all our attention is a circle on the top right. Has exactly the same size as the other circles. This means that our product is not only the helicopter, but it's the entire system. So there is the way, the helicopter, payload, C2 data link, and the RPS. Everything integrated within the customer infrastructure. So it's super open to be customized in according to any requirements. The helicopter. This is the V150 to the left-hand side. You have seen this morning as well on the presentation from Antonio. V150 because it's 150 kilograms maximum takeoff weight. While on the right-hand side you see the V200. This is the 245 kilograms takeoff weight. And those are our helicopters in our portfolio. RPS, you can see it can be either a desert deployed RPS or a couple of chairs with computers, or you can even have integrating in a ship, and this will be exactly one of the two live demos of today. And you can even have something a bit more sophisticated within a truck, a van. Payload. So what makes actually the UAS interesting is the payload. We can integrate every kind of payload. This is just an example, but is a typical application. So we normally always have one electro-optical camera. Electro-optical and infrared camera, and this is combined normally with synthetic aperture radar or any COMINT payload. COMINT is the communication intelligence, so basically it's for again search and rescue, for spotting signals from the ground. Typically, we will see one of in the next slide is for mobile phones, basically. This is just an example of a combination of payloads. In this case, a sophisticated electro-optical sensor combined with the PICO-SAR from Leonardo. Is a synthetic aperture radar. Or, on this case, on the V150, still electro-optical sensor, but this time combined with the electronic intelligence sensor, specifically for search and rescue and signal from missing people phones from the ground. So that's it for this presentation. If we can go with the video, please.
Yes. So here we saw the platforms that enable all the services that we are going to see now. So this is the first video that is going to be shown, and this is a Finnish Coast Guard mission that was implemented by you. Could you describe that?
Yes, with pleasure. Here was, as you correctly said, real operations for the Finnish Coast Guard. We were around 10 nautical miles from the coast of Helsinki. So we were full in the sea. It was quite a windy day, around 20-25 knots. The mission was for interception of traffickants, basically, or illegal boats. The combination of payload was for this operation an MX8, so electro-optical. This is a very nice infrared picture, combined with a PICOSAR, so a synthetic aperture radar. In this case, we were operating. You can see here the boat. We set up the RPS, so we integrated the RPS within the boat of the customer. So in this case, the requirement was to have in the command deck of the boat the RPS integrated, and the operation also were night operations, as you can see.
So the operation was starting, the takeoff and the landing was on a moving boat, as we saw today before with the precision landing mission, and yesterday with the demonstration of the intermodal transport, so demonstrating that that mission could be carried out also on a boat. What were the most difficult parts of taking off and landing on a moving object like that?
Yes, one of the most challenging aspects is the precision, takeoff and landing, because as you see, the landing deck, consider the helicopter is nearly 4 meters long, so it's not a very big landing area compared to the size of the helicopter. So it's really important that the UA lands exactly in the point that you were to land. We have a full system to ensure this capability, and a well-trained procedure also from our side and on the customer, for the customers as well. So we provide as well a full package of training for every kind of operation the customer wants. Is a really interesting procedure. Is a procedure where the helicopter is tethered. I use the word tether, but it doesn't mean there is any physical connection. The helicopter is tethered, meaning that the referring point for the helicopter is not any longer a fixed point in the space, but it's a moving point according to where the boat is. This ensures the helicopter is always maintaining a relative distance from the boat, as safety requires. And the last phase is where the helicopter goes over the landing point and safely lands. Again, all this procedure. I want to stress that everything here is completely automatic. So there is no pilot with RC in the loop. It's everything controlled by the remote pilot station with takeoff and landing buttons.
So I think it was very interesting. I think we can go with the second use case. Chiedo alla regia di andare col secondo video. In this case, we can see a mission performed inside our test bed, Grottaglie Airport test bed. So I ask you to describe the mission, the use case that we are seeing, and also the how you carried out your operations different times, several times inside the test bed. How you use the facility, the infrastructure.
Yeah, we started describing the operation that you see here. In this case, we have the V150, so the lighter and fast deployable helicopter of our portfolio. In this case, the mission was chasing and following of a suspect car. The capability of the camera to track the moving object was actually the key feature of these operations. Here you can see we are taking off and landing exactly from the runway in Grottaglie. We started our experience in Grottaglie in 2021 with the Icaro project, And we were there as well this year. We were there in between June and July. It was a really nice 2 months of flight test in the
And which kind of activity did you perform during that?
We did many kind of activity. Grottaglie, as Antonio Zilli mentioned this morning, is the ideal test site for flight test activity, training, demonstrations, or even projects like was the Icaro project 1 year ago.
And you also performed a very rigorous campaign of tests this summer. Could you go through that?
Yes, the campaign this summer was taking place over the airport of Grottaglie, but don't imagine Grottaglie as just the airport. We were flying in the restricted areas between the airport of Grottaglie and the sea. So it was also a very nice exercise, at least the first kickoff of integration of an unmanned vehicle within a civilian and military actually airport. And yes, as I said, was a really valuable experience for testing, for demonstrations. As you well know, the restricted area in Grottaglie can go up to 5,000 feet from the ground. So it's actually very, very valuable. UMS Skeldar is investing a lot in Grottaglie, in the presence in the airport.
So last question, what are your plans for the future? Also regarding maybe developing new kind of procedures or new kind of services related to the urban area?
It's a very good point, because after the experience this year in Grottaglie, we started some lesson learned sessions with authorities. It was ENAC, ENAV in the loop, and they showed their full support to start really making real the integration between manned traffic and unmanned traffic. So that was the follow-up. And our plans for the future are really clear for Grottaglie. We have a combined project also with you from DTA about continuing our activities in the area for the next time, and coming with for more time, longer time, and with our platforms basically.
Thank you very much, Saverio, for your
presence
and
Thanks
for
to you
your
all.
testimony. Thank you.
Thank you very much.